So Iceland follows a My Food Circle as well as a My Food Plate. So their My Food Circle has 6 food groups, which is fruits and vegetables grouped together, cereals and cereal products, dairy products, animal source foods, nuts, oils, and visible fats. But then on their food plate, there's only 3 branches because they group everything together and say that this is what your plate should look like all together. But then compared to our My Plate for the US, we have 5 food groups, which is fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. Now, for their fast food, they do not have a lot of fast food in Iceland. McDonald's, Dunkin', Dairy Queen, Papa John's, Popeyes, Little Caesars, they've all came and gone. The only real fast food that they say has stayed is TGI Fridays and Ruby Tuesdays. But other than that, nothing else has really stayed. And for their menus of like breakfast, you really get to pick and choose what your plate looks like. This is what a normal plate looks like. You get to pick and choose between yogurt, berry compote, soft-boiled egg, cheese, fruit, bacon, fried potatoes, sourdough bread, baked beans, sausage, pancakes, porridge with Iceland butter. As well as to complete your breakfast, you get to choose like smoothies, fruit juice, and coffee or teas. Now, for the lunch and dinner menu, they really go with stuff more common to them, like lamb meat soup, sheep's head, I don't know how to pronounce that, polkish fur, dried fish jerky, which is very common on a plate, fermented shark, Iceland fish, and for their sides, during the fish sides, it's dark rye bread from a hot spring. Other sides, it's just normal bread, as well as dairy products and potatoes. And this is what a normal plate would look like for lunch or dinner.
As for hobbies and sports in Iceland, sports are really popular. So some of those include handball, football, basketball, golf, volleyball, tennis, swimming, and rock climbing, which are also pretty popular sports in the US. But they also have horseback riding on Icelandic horses and archery, which is another common activity, along with hiking, exploring caves, and scuba diving. And Iceland has the highest percentage of residents who exercise and engage in physical activities more than 150 minutes outside of work each week, and according to the European Statistical Agency Eurostat, also 60.8% of Icelanders meet the WHO minimum guidelines, while the European average is only about 30.8%. And so their exercise habits also affect their diet, and their diet has an abundance of wholesome and organic food, and people eat a lot of fish from the sea or from rivers, like salmon and trout. And Iceland is also famous for lamb, and the meat from the lamb is organic and free range. Geothermal greenhouses in Iceland make it possible to grow herbs, tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, bananas, and a lot of other things, like fruits and veggies. And the socioeconomic impacts also affect how they eat and exercise. So the poverty rate of Iceland is 8%, and for comparison, the North Country, where we live, hovers between 40% to 50%. And Iceland is also a water-rich nation, and the water is clean, and 95% of drinking water comes from groundwater. I think some habits that we can adopt from Iceland are that we can take their diet and exercise habits. In America, we have much more processed and fast foods and don't exercise as much as Iceland, and they are just proving that organic food and a high activity rate makes for healthier people.